If you are already in your 60s, please take a few minutes to seriously read this all the way to the end. Because there is something sitting quietly in your refrigerator. Something you have always thought was healthy your entire life. But in reality, it might be silently damaging your brain every time you go to sleep. You have no idea it is happening. There is no pain, no warning signs, until one morning you wake up and suddenly find yourself unable to speak. Your arm won't lift, your legs are too weak to stand. You try to get up, but everything is spinning, and then you see the panicked eyes of your loved ones. But you cannot say a single word. And that is when you realize something serious happened while you were asleep. I am not talking about alcohol, or fried foods, or sweets. What I want you to pay attention to is a vegetable. A vegetable that was once praised as a superfood. A clean eating icon. A must-have item on the modern American dinner plate. But for an aging body, with fragile blood vessels and the daily medications you are likely taking, this vegetable can act like fuel thrown on a fire, triggering a silent stroke. As a neurologist, I have seen far too many older adults collapse, not because they were careless with their diet, but because they believed too much in general advice about healthy food. They ate vegetables, they took vitamins, they walked every morning, they thought they were doing everything right. But what works at 30 can become a dangerous mistake at 60. The truth is, after turning 60, everything in your body begins to change. Your blood vessels lose their elasticity. Your liver and kidneys process more slowly. Your body retains less water. Medications for heart conditions, blood pressure, and joint pain also change the way your body responds to food. And when certain seemingly harmless vegetables interact with those exact conditions, they can trigger a chain reaction in your bloodstream, causing sudden spikes in blood pressure, forming blood clots, or dehydrating your body while you sleep. In the next few minutes, I will share with you 5 common vegetables that show up in most meals for older Americans. I will show you real-life stories of people who believed they were eating smart, until they lost their ability to speak, suffered temporary memory loss, or could no longer walk on their own. I want you to pay special attention to the last vegetable on the list, because nearly everyone over the age of 60 is eating it. Without knowing it may be the single most dangerous trigger for a brain hemorrhage. Before you continue, make sure to click the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a single health tip I share each week. Each one carefully designed to help people over 60 live stronger, healthier, and more independent lives. Now, imagine a tomato, fresh, red, and juicy, a staple in summer salads. A key ingredient in steaming hot spaghetti sauce, or simply a few slices on your lunchtime sandwich. For most Americans, tomatoes are practically the symbol of healthy, eating light, good for the skin, and great for your heart and vision. From TV commercials to the labels on dietary supplements, you have always heard, eating tomatoes every day is a smart choice. But the truth is, if you are over the age of 60, and especially if you have issues with blood pressure, your nervous system, or your blood vessels, then that innocent-looking tomato might actually be stirring up chaos inside your brain and you would not even know it. Sounds hard to believe? Let me explain. Tomatoes belong to the nightshade family. Along with eggplants, bell peppers, and potatoes, these foods contain a number of compounds that your aging body may no longer handle well. Among them are histamine and tyramine, 2 substances that can trigger inflammation, cause abnormal contraction and dilation of blood vessels, and lead to uncontrollable spikes in blood pressure. Tomatoes also contain solanine, a natural compound that, when built up in high amounts, can stimulate the central nervous system in unsettling ways. The effects of these compounds do not happen instantly. They can accumulate over time, interfering with the tiny blood vessels that feed your brain, disrupting your body's electrolyte balance, and causing your nervous system to act as if you are having a stroke even when there is no blood clot or bleeding involved. I once treated a patient just like this. Her name was Emma, 73 years old, a retired teacher full of energy, who loved gardening and cooking. She had a nightly habit of eating a bowl of tomato soup. She did not snack, did not smoke, and had her blood pressure under control. The kind of person you would think of as a role model for healthy aging. But one morning, she woke up with a pounding headache, blurred vision, and a stiff jaw that made it impossible for her to speak clearly. Her family rushed her to the emergency room, immediately suspecting a stroke. But every scan came back clean. No clots, no bleeding, no traditional stroke. Instead, what we saw was abnormal narrowing of the brain's blood vessels, combined with mild inflammation and electrolyte imbalance. We call this a pseudo-stroke, a neurological event that looks just like a stroke on the outside, but is actually caused by biochemical changes in the body, not blocked blood flow. And after carefully reviewing her eating habits, we realized that the nightly bowl of tomato soup, along with a low-sodium diet, not enough water intake, and age-weakened brain vessels, was the most likely trigger. Emma recovered, but her short-term memory was never the same. She became anxious every time she sat down for a meal. She looked at me with regret in her eyes and said, "I thought I was doing something good, but I guess my body is not what it used to be at 40. And she was absolutely right. After the age of 60, your body does not process food the same way anymore. What once brought benefits can now trigger unexpected reactions, especially if you are on medications for blood pressure, heart conditions, or neurological health. I am not saying you need to eliminate tomatoes completely, but if you are sensitive to nightshades or if you often get headaches, dizziness, or a foggy mind after dinner, you should start paying attention. Try not to eat tomatoes at night. If you can avoid it, cut back on tomato-heavy dishes like soups, sauces, and juices close to bedtime. And if you are taking medications that alter your electrolyte balance, ask your doctor whether tomatoes could be affecting you. Because a bowl of tomato soup, if eaten at the wrong time, in the wrong way, can quietly take away the mental clarity you have always valued. You have probably heard this hundreds of times. Eating salad for dinner is a great way to stay in shape, support heart health, and aid digestion before going to bed. And romaine lettuce seems like the perfect choice for that. It is cool, crisp, low in calories, high in water and fiber. But there is one thing that most people over the age of 60 are never warned about. This seemingly harmless leafy green could quietly increase your risk of a stroke right while you are sleeping. Romaine lettuce has natural diuretic properties, meaning it gently encourages the body to release water. For younger, healthy, well-hydrated individuals, this is hardly a concern. But for older adults, especially those taking blood pressure or diuretic medications, this effect can be just enough to push the body into a state of dehydration without anyone noticing. We tend to think dehydration causes a dry mouth, fatigue, or thirst, but in older people, the body's thirst mechanism weakens with age. They can be dehydrated and not even feel it. And when blood becomes dehydrated, it starts to thicken. Picture syrup trying to flow through tiny, aging blood vessels. The result? Slower circulation and a higher risk of blood clots, especially at night, when the body does not get a chance to rehydrate in time. Just a small dip in blood pressure or a slight change in heart rhythm during deep sleep can allow a tiny clot to get stuck in the brain, causing a stroke with no warning. No pain, no dizziness, no blurry vision. You simply wake up and realize your body is no longer responding the way you expected to. One typical case was Mr. Name, 85 years old. Retired after decades of working in a factory. He lived a disciplined life, ate clean, avoided fried foods, and exercised regularly. At night, he often prepared a bowl of salad with romaine lettuce, cucumber, and vinegar, a light meal he believed was perfect. But one morning, his wife found him sitting still in a chair, his right arm weakened, and his speech slurred. At the hospital, doctors confirmed he had suffered a mild stroke during the night. Tests revealed mild dehydration, thicker blood, and electrolyte imbalance, all likely caused by eating a diuretic vegetable at night, combined with blood pressure medication and not drinking enough water before bed. He survived, but it took months of rehabilitation to regain his speech and mobility. When we spoke afterward, he said something that has stayed with me ever since. "I just wanted to do the right thing. I never thought a bowl of salad could do harm." The takeaway here is not that you should stop eating vegetables or salad. It is that you need to eat them more wisely as your body changes. After the age of 60, your blood clots more easily, your blood pressure fluctuates more during the night, and your brain, which depends on a steady supply of blood, can suffer greatly from even mild dehydration. So if you enjoy salad at night, especially those with romaine lettuce, make sure you are well hydrated before going to bed. Or better yet, move your salad to lunchtime, when your body is more active and can better process natural diuretics. Talk to your doctor if you are taking blood pressure or diuretic medications. And never ignore signs like dizziness, morning fatigue, or a dry mouth that lasts longer than usual. Broccoli. The savior of the American dinner table, but it may be quietly damaging your brain. There is hardly a single diet plan that does not mention broccoli. From diabetic meal plans to cancer-fighting diets, it has long been crowned the king of healthy vegetables. And if you are an older adult trying to eat clean, cut carbs, and reduce fat, broccoli has probably become a regular part of your weekly or even daily meals. But did you know that for people over the age of 60, especially those taking blood pressure or blood-thinning medications, or those prone to dehydration, broccoli could quietly trigger harmful reactions in your brain's blood vessels? Broccoli is extremely rich in vitamin K, a nutrient that helps with blood clotting. This is great news for younger individuals, but it becomes a double-edged sword for older adults who are taking blood thinners like warfarin. When your intake of vitamin K fluctuates, your body struggles to regulate blood thickness. The result can be either overly thick blood raising the risk of clot formation or overly thin blood raising the risk of bleeding. But that is not all. Broccoli also contains a high amount of natural sulfur compounds. This is what gives it that strong smell when it is boiled. Once these compounds enter your bloodstream, they can affect kidney function and disrupt your electrolyte balance, especially in those whose kidney filtration weakens with age. If you are older, not drinking enough water, and consuming large amounts of broccoli while taking medications for blood pressure or circulation, your body can fall into a temporary imbalance enough to disrupt blood flow to the brain. One of my patients, Mr. Harold Simmons, age 70, had a routine of eating broccoli almost every evening. He steamed it, stir-fried it, even blended it into his vegetable smoothies. All of it came from a desire to live a healthy life. But one night, he experienced a sudden headache, blurred vision, and collapsed on the bathroom floor. His wife called emergency services, fearing he had a stroke. But test results revealed no clots, no brain bleeding. Instead, he had severe electrolyte imbalance, dehydration, and irregular blood coagulation. It was not serious enough to cause permanent brain damage, but it did result in a pseudo-stroke, a temporary loss of consciousness that required hospitalization and monitoring. When we reviewed his diet, the high intake of broccoli combined with his heart medication was clearly the issue. No one had ever told him that this vegetable needs to be monitored when eaten in excess, especially by those on blood-thinning medications. So if you are eating broccoli regularly, remember that healthy does not always mean safe in every situation. Keep your intake consistent from week to week. Avoid consuming large amounts in a single meal. And most importantly, do not eat it at night if you are on blood-thinning medications or have a history of dehydration. Your body needs the daytime hours to process its high vitamin K content and other active compounds. Broccoli is not the enemy. But if you do not fully understand how it interacts with your body, especially after the age of 60, what feels like a harmless habit could turn into a serious oversight. Corn. The friendly food in every meal, but a silent trap for the brain after 60. When you think of a light, safe, and easy to digest snack, corn is probably one of the first things that comes to mind. Whether it is grilled corn, corn soup, or simple boiled corn on the cob, this humble food always feels wholesome and down to earth. Many older Americans even see it as a healthier choice than bread or potatoes. Not too sweet, not greasy, and easy on the stomach. But behind that seemingly gentle image lies a reality that has cost many older adults their peaceful nights. Or worse, an unexpected stroke. Corn is a food high in starch and not the kind that is easy to digest for aging bodies. Whether you eat it fresh or canned, your body quickly converts it into glucose, causing a sharp spike in blood sugar. This can be particularly dangerous if you have issues with insulin, or taking diabetes medication, or simply no longer regulate your blood sugar as effectively as you once did. You might feel perfectly fine during the day, but at night once you are asleep, the elevated insulin levels after dinner can lead to a sudden drop in blood sugar, triggering dizziness, confusion, or strange dreams in the middle of the night. For older adults, this is not just an inconvenience. It is a sign that the brain is not getting a stable source of energy. which disrupts neurological function. In some cases, these sharp swings in blood sugar levels can even become hidden triggers for mild brain bleeds or temporary ischemic strokes. And that is not all. Many corn-based foods like canned corn, corn cakes, or corn porridge contain hidden sugars and sodium, adding even more stress to your heart and nervous system. An elderly body, already more prone to dehydration and reduced circulation, has to work extra hard to stabilize heart rate, blood pressure, and blood sugar after what seems like a harmless meal. I once treated Mr. Peter Raymond, age 76, a man who preferred natural eating. He avoided soda and sweets. But every evening, he replaced rice with a single steamed ear of corn. In his mind, it was the perfect way to cut carbs while still feeling full. But after a few months of that routine, he began waking up with mild dizziness. Some mornings, he stumbled or lost focus while reading the newspaper. Eventually, he suffered a minor ischemic stroke even though he had no serious medical history. Upon closer analysis, that healthy habit turned out to be the culprit: eating corn at night. Failing to manage blood sugar and not pairing it with enough protein caused his body to experience metabolic instability during sleep. If you love the taste of corn, eat it during the daytime when your body still has the time and energy to digest it and regulate blood sugar properly. Avoid using corn as the main part of your dinner. Absolutely do not pair it with sugary or salty foods. And if you are on a diet to manage blood sugar, be mindful of your total daily carbohydrate intake, because even one small ear of corn can quietly trigger a biological storm that you never see coming. Just one poorly timed meal can throw your brain into chaos during deep sleep, and that is something you can completely prevent starting today. Carrots, a food that seems harmless, but can quietly fool your nervous system after the age of 60. If there is one vegetable that just about everyone agrees is good for you, it is probably the carrot. From childhood to old age, you have always been told that eating carrots improves vision, supports eye health, and is great for your skin. Many older Americans believe that munching on a few slices of raw carrot is a wonderful way to stay healthy, better than chips, lower in sugar, and helpful for weight control. But what few people realize is that your body, after 60, no longer reacts to carrots the way it used to. Raw carrots contain high amounts of carotenoids and insoluble fiber substances that are not easy to break down if your digestive system is no longer functioning at full strength. This can lead to poor nutrient absorption, bloating, indigestion, and in some cases, unexpected fluctuations in blood sugar levels. And especially if you are eating raw carrots on an empty stomach or late at night. The natural sugars in carrots, fructose and glucose, can be released quickly, spiking your blood sugar at a time when your insulin response has slowed down. This is a risky scenario if you are taking medication for diabetes or heart conditions. But the issue goes beyond sugar. Raw carrots are also rich in potassium, and for people with declining kidney function, excess potassium can cause heart arrhythmias, muscle weakness, or even mild seizures or extended periods of mental fog. These symptoms are often mistaken for normal fatigue or a poor night's sleep. But in truth, they are signs that your nervous system is under strain. I once spoke with Ms. Joan Ellis, 81 years old, who lived alone and was very careful with her diet. She had cut out sweets, avoided refined starches, and replaced all snacks with raw carrots. Each evening, while watching TV, she would chew through at least half a carrot out of habit. At first, there was nothing unusual, but then she began to feel mild dizziness, blurry vision when standing up, and occasional moments in the kitchen when she forgot what she was doing. One night, she experienced temporary disorientation. She described it as, "My brain could not keep up with my body." Her family took her to the emergency room fearing a stroke. Fortunately, there was no permanent damage, but doctors discovered she had a mild electrolyte imbalance, along with post-meal blood sugar fluctuations, all triggered by eating raw carrots too frequently, at the wrong time of day, and without pairing them with protein or healthy fats to slow down absorption. The lesson here is not that you should cut carrots out of your diet. It is that you should not assume any food as harmless just because it is natural, crunchy, and sweet. If you enjoy carrots, try this. Cook them instead of eating them raw, especially if you have digestive issues. Avoid eating carrots on an empty stomach or late at night. Pair them with protein or healthy fats to slow the absorption of sugars. And most importantly, pay attention to your body. If you feel jittery, lightheaded, foggy, or develop a mild headache after eating carrots, those signs are not random. Age changes how your body responds to everything. Even the foods you once believed were completely safe. A carrot will not kill you, but if you eat it the wrong way, at the wrong time, it could be the first domino that tips your nervous system into confusion while you are fast asleep. The smallest things can change your entire fate. If you have made it this far, you might be feeling confused. So what can I still eat? Even vegetables can be harmful? I thought I was doing everything right. I understand that feeling, because the very people I have treated, the ones who believed they were eating healthy, who thought they were doing everything right, were often the ones who collapsed while trying to protect their health. Not because they were wrong, but because the body after 60 is not the same as it once was. And no one ever taught them how to eat for a body that is changing every single day. The truth is, no vegetable is inherently bad. But no food is truly safe either if you do not know what your body needs, or what it can no longer handle. After 60, danger does not come from big events. It hides in the smallest things you repeat every day at dinner you thought was healthy. A familiar pill, an innocent little snack, a little dehydration, a slice of raw carrot, an ear of corn at the wrong time. And then, one morning, you wake up, and you are no longer yourself. I am not saying this to scare you. I am saying this to keep you alert and in control. If you have ever felt lightheaded after a meal, if you have ever woken up in the night feeling confused, with a racing heart, or a foggy mind, if you are following healthy habits but do not feel any stronger, then do not ignore it. Do not chalk it up to just getting older. Do not stay silent. Your body is speaking to you every single day. Listen to it. And if this video has helped you realize something, maybe a misunderstanding, a habit, or a hidden risk you never thought of, leave a comment. I want to hear from you. Not just to know what you are going through, but so others people just like you can see they are not alone in this journey. Checkmark if you found today's message helpful. Hit the follow button and turn on the notification bell. I release a new video every week, always focused on the small things that can make a big difference after 60. Thank you for staying with me until the end. Wishing you a peaceful day, a restful night, and a stronger, healthier journey, starting with what you choose to eat tomorrow.